Welcome to My English Podcast.
Learn, practice, and speak with confidence.
Hey everyone, welcome back to My English Podcast. I'm Mia.
And I'm Max. And today's topic is one of those special ones. It's not just about English, it's about who you want to be.
Yes, the way you speak can shape the way you feel, and it can even shape how other people see you. That's why today's episode is called Speak Like the Person You Want to Become.
Exactly. And no, that's not just a catchy title. It's a real strategy. Because when you change your language, your thoughts often follow.
And to guide us through this, as always, we have our expert English coach, Mrs. Tina. Hello, Tina.
Hi, Mia. Hi, Max. And hello to everyone listening. I'm really excited about this topic because I've seen it change people's lives, not just their grammar or pronunciation, but their confidence, their mindset, and even their goals.
So where do we even start? It sounds deep.
Let's start with something simple. Words shape identity. The words you use about yourself, even in your second language, can quietly change how you see yourself. For example, if you always say, "My English is bad," or "Sorry, I can't explain this," guess what? Your brain starts to believe it.
It's like you're building a wall around your abilities just with your own words.
Exactly. But if you start saying things like, "I'm still learning, but I can try," or "Let me explain it my way," your brain hears something different. It hears courage, growth, a future version of yourself.
So you're saying the first step to becoming more confident in English is to sound more confident, even before you feel it?
Yes. And we're going to break that down in this episode. We'll talk about language habits, useful phrases, tone tricks, and even posture, because all of it matters.
Okay, I love that. So what's one simple thing listeners can start doing today to speak more like their future self?
Drop the word just. That little word can shrink your confidence without you noticing. Think about this sentence. I just wanted to say, "I'm just trying to explain." Now try it without just, I wanted to say, "I'm trying to explain." Hear the difference? Without just, it's stronger, cleaner, more confident.
Wow. I use just all the time. Like I'm just checking in, or just a quick note.
Exactly. And sometimes it's okay, it softens the message. But if you want to sound more like a leader or someone sure of their voice, start leaving it out.
So it's about being intentional with how you speak. And that builds identity?
Yes. The more clearly you speak, the more clearly you think. And your identity, the version of you that you want to become, starts to take shape.
Okay, this is really powerful. Let's keep going. What are some phrases that help build that future confident self-image?
Here are a few phrases I love teaching my students. These are great for conversations, meetings, interviews, anytime you want to sound more like your next level self. Here's how I see it. This is confident and personal. You're not forcing your opinion, but you're also not hiding. Let me think about that for a moment. You're giving yourself space to think and showing maturity. That's a great question. What I'd say is, this buys time and makes you sound thoughtful, even if you're still figuring it out.
I feel like these are soft but strong. You're not saying, "I know everything," but you're also not shrinking away.
And they're easy to remember. That's what I love. They sound natural, not like a script.
Exactly. And one more thing, your tone matters. A confident sentence said with doubt sounds weak. But a simple sentence with a calm tone? That's powerful. For example, "I don't know." You can say that like, "I'm stupid," or like, "I'm open."
So you can still say, "I don't know," but it's how you say it that changes everything.
Yes. Try saying it with curiosity. I don't know. But I'd like to find out. That shows you're not afraid of not knowing. That's confident.
This reminds me of something I heard. You don't become confident first and then speak. You speak yourself into confidence.
Yes, that's exactly it. And this episode is giving people the tools to do that.
Let's talk about one more thing, your inner voice.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, the little voice in our heads that tells us, "You're not good enough," or "Don't say that your grammar isn't perfect."
Exactly. That voice is strong. But guess what? It also speaks English. And you can change the way that voice speaks to you. Instead of, "You're going to make a mistake," you can teach it to say, "It's okay to make mistakes, I'm still learning."
So you're basically rewriting your own internal dialogue.
Yes. And here's the fun part, you can practice that voice out loud. Try standing in front of a mirror and saying, "I'm learning more every day. I speak English better than I think I do. Mistakes don't make me small, they make me better." This may feel silly at first, but it builds new pathways in your brain. Your voice literally becomes your practice tool.
That's so encouraging. And so gentle, too.
I love that we're not just talking about sounding smarter. We're talking about speaking in a way that respects yourself.
Yes, because language isn't just for communication, it's for connection. With others. And with yourself.
All right, we're just getting started, but this is already giving me goosebumps. In the next part, we'll look at even more real-life phrases, tone habits, and daily mindset shifts that can help you speak like the person you want to become.
You don't want to miss it. This is not just about learning English. This is about becoming your future self, one sentence at a time. Welcome back to my English podcast. If you're just joining us, today we're talking about something really special, how your English, your words, your tone, and your mindset all come together to help you become a better version of yourself.
Yes, we started by talking about how small phrases and confident tone can slowly build the person you want to be. And now we're going to go deeper into how this works in real life, at work, in conversations, and even in your thoughts.
That's right. Let's now look at real-world situations where the way you speak helps you feel stronger, braver, or more grounded. Let's start with a job interview. A lot of learners go in thinking, "I hope they don't notice my English isn't perfect." But what if you walked in thinking, "I'm someone who brings value, and I'll explain it simply"? That shift alone changes everything.
And I've noticed that when people try to sound too perfect, they often lose their natural voice.
Exactly. Let's take this sentence. "I may not have full fluency yet, but I communicate clearly and always find a way." That's strong. You're not hiding anything, but you're also not apologizing. You're building trust.
That's the trick, right? You're not pretending to be someone else. You're just choosing words that move you closer to who you want to be.
Exactly. And here's another tool. Use language that opens, not closes. Instead of saying, "I don't know, try. That's something I'd love to learn more about." Instead of, "I'm bad at grammar," say, "Grammar is something I'm still improving." That's the same message, but one version sounds like a dead end and the other sounds like growth.
It feels like a tiny shift, but when you do it again and again, your brain starts thinking that way.
Yes. Let's talk about daily conversations now. Imagine you're meeting someone new and you want to sound friendly and open. Try saying, "It's great to meet you. I've been practicing my English and I love learning through real conversation." That shows humility, effort, and openness all at once.
I love that. And it makes the other person want to keep talking to you.
Exactly. That's the power of self-framing. How you describe yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you say, "Sorry, my English is terrible," people may feel awkward. But if you say, "I'm still learning, but I enjoy using English in real life," then they see you as someone growing.
That reminds me of travel. When I go to another country and try speaking a new language, people are way more open when I speak with curiosity, not fear.
That's such a great example. Language is not just about being correct. It's about being present, real, and available. Here's another simple switch learners can try today. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning to." I can't explain this well. I'm learning to explain this better. I can't understand fast English. I'm learning to follow faster speech. It shows you're on the journey, not stuck at the start.
And that brings hope. You feel like your story isn't finished. It's just beginning.
Yes. Now let's talk about something really interesting, mirroring. When you want to grow into a more confident version of yourself, try observing people who already speak the way you want to. That could be a YouTuber, a speaker, even a friend. Watch their tone, rhythm, and expressions. Then, practice by repeating their sentences out loud. This technique, called shadowing, helps you not only learn vocabulary, but also feel how confidence sounds.
So you're not just copying, you're absorbing the energy of that voice.
Exactly. Over time, that tone becomes part of your own voice.
Can we do a quick example for our listeners?
Absolutely. Here's a confident sentence. I'll say it first, then Max and Mia, you can shadow me. I may still be learning, but I have something valuable to say.
I may still be learning, but I have something valuable to say.
I may still be learning, but I have something valuable to say.
Perfect. Now, dear listener, try saying it with us. Out loud if you can. Ready? I may still be learning, but I have something valuable to say. That's it. That sentence can live inside you, in your mind, in your emails, in your introductions.
I love that. And it's so different from the usual, I'm sorry for my bad English.
Yes. Confidence is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up, even when you're still figuring things out.
Let's talk about another area, social media or writing online. How can learners speak like their future self in those places?
Great question. In writing, we often feel pressure to sound smart. But remember, smart is not about using big words. It's about being clear, kind, and human. Try phrases like, here's what I've learned recently. This helped me, maybe it'll help you too. I'm still improving, but this is how I understand it. That's how thought leaders speak, with confidence and humility.
So even online, you're shaping your identity with language.
Absolutely. Every post, every reply, every comment, it's a chance to be the version of yourself you're building.
This is really inspiring. I feel like our listeners are probably realizing that their English voice is not just about language, it's about self-image.
Yes. And I want to leave you with this idea. The way you speak to others becomes the way you speak to yourself. And the way you speak to yourself becomes who you are becoming. So choose your words like you're designing your future.
Wow. That's a line I'm going to write down and stick on my wall.
Me too. And listeners, we're not done yet. In the final part of this episode, we'll talk about small daily habits and specific exercises you can use to strengthen your identity through English.
We'll also share powerful phrases, mindset tools, and even some short writing practices you can try today.
So don't go anywhere. You're not just learning English. You're becoming someone more confident, more thoughtful, and more fully yourself.
That line really stuck with me. The way you speak to yourself becomes who you are becoming. It feels like the heart of this whole conversation.
Yes, and it makes me think about how we sometimes speak about ourselves like we're finished. Like, I'm shy, or I'm not good at English. But actually, we're always changing. And the way we describe ourselves can keep us stuck, or help us move forward.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it. And one of the most powerful things you can do as a learner is to start changing the labels you use for yourself. For example, instead of saying, I'm bad at speaking, try saying, I'm still building confidence when I speak.
That's softer. It doesn't close the door, it leaves room to grow.
Yes. And even more, it trains your mind to expect improvement. I've worked with students who went from afraid to speak at all to leading presentations in English. And the shift didn't start with grammar. It started with identity.
Can you share what that shift actually looks like in their day-to-day life?
Absolutely. One student used to say, I can't express myself. She was very quiet in meetings. So we practiced simple affirmations like, I am learning how to express myself in my own way. She wrote it, she said it, and she started to believe it. And that belief changed how she prepared for conversations, how she asked questions, even how she sat in the room.
That's amazing. And I think that's something every listener can try. Just one sentence, one small shift.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. In fact, one of my favorite tools is a language upgrade. It's where you take something you already say and rewrite it just a little bit better, more kind, more curious, more growth-focused. For example, instead of I'll never get this, try I haven't mastered this yet. Instead of I hate making mistakes, try mistakes help me learn faster. Instead of my English is terrible, try I'm still learning and that's okay.
Those feel so gentle, like they give you space to breathe.
And they're believable. You're not lying to yourself. You're just choosing a version that helps instead of hurts.
Exactly. And over time, those versions become your new normal. There's one more practice I'd love to share. It's called future speak. It's when you start speaking like the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. Even if you're not fully there yet, you borrow that voice.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine you want to become someone who speaks English confidently in meetings. Instead of saying, "I'm not ready," say, "I'm preparing for this and I'm almost there." Or if you want to be someone who writes in English regularly, say, "I'm someone who writes to connect with others. I'm developing my voice." You don't have to wait until you feel 100% ready. The language you use now is part of becoming that person.
I love that so much. It's like trying on a new version of yourself and seeing how it feels.
And if it feels good, you keep it. If it doesn't, you adjust. But at least you're moving.
Yes, language is motion. It's a reflection of how you think and also a tool to help you think differently. That's why this is so powerful for language learners. You're not just practicing English. You're practicing self-image.
I think that's the real takeaway. Every sentence we say is not just about communication, it's about shaping the person we're becoming.
And what's beautiful is, you can start with really small choices. Use kinder words. Try a calmer tone. Choose a phrase that makes you feel strong instead of small.
And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep choosing language that supports the version of you that's trying to grow.
This is one of those episodes I think I'll come back to. It's not just useful for English learners, it's useful for anyone trying to grow into a new chapter.
And if you're listening right now and thinking, "But I still struggle," that's okay. Every word you practice today is part of your transformation. You're not behind. You're becoming.
And your English? It's not just a skill. It's a mirror. The more clearly you speak, the more clearly you start to see yourself.
And we're here for that journey with you, step by step, word by word.
You've got this. You're not just learning English, you're building the version of you that you've always wanted to become. Sometimes I wonder how many people are out there quietly learning English on their own, doubting themselves every day, not realizing they're doing something incredibly brave.
Totally. Just the fact that someone is listening to this podcast in English, maybe while commuting or cooking or sitting alone after a long day, says so much about who they are already becoming.
It really does. And I want to say this clearly. You don't have to wait for someone else to notice your progress. You can be the one who recognizes it. You can say, "That sentence I said today, that was a little clearer." Or, "I spoke up even though I was nervous. That counts."
And that self-recognition can feel uncomfortable at first, like you're being too proud. But actually, it's part of building your voice.
Yes. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. When you acknowledge your growth, you're reinforcing it. You're saying, "I'm showing up for myself." And that matters. One practice I encourage is keeping a language wins journal. Every evening, write one sentence about how you used English in a meaningful way. It could be something like, "I ordered coffee in English without switching to my native language. I asked a question during a meeting. I understood a podcast sentence without translating it." These seem small, but they're huge. And when you look back after a month, you'll see your progress in your own handwriting.
That's such a good idea. Because when we're learning something slowly, we forget how far we've come.
And I think it gives your brain a different job. Instead of looking for mistakes, it starts looking for progress.
Exactly. And that's the mindset of someone who is transforming. Now let's talk about a situation that challenges many learners, moments of failure or embarrassment. Maybe you forget a word. Maybe someone laughs. Maybe you freeze. These moments can feel like proof that you're not good enough. But I want to offer something different. Those moments are not the end, they are the middle.
That's powerful. Because we often treat failure like a wall, but it's really just a step.
Yes. And the way you talk to yourself after those moments is everything. If you say, "I messed up, I'm terrible," your confidence shrinks. But if you say, That was hard, but I'm still learning. You give yourself permission to try again. Language learning is not about being flawless. It's about being willing to stay in the process. It's about letting go of the need to be perfect and replacing it with a decision to keep going.
And honestly, I think that kind of resilience shows more strength than any perfect sentence ever could.
Absolutely. The people who become confident speakers are not the ones who get it all right. They're the ones who stayed kind to themselves when they got it wrong. Let's also remember that we're not just talking about English here. We're talking about becoming someone who can walk into a room and feel worthy of being there. Someone who doesn't apologize for existing, even when their words are still catching up to their ideas.
That's the real goal. Not just fluency, but freedom.
Freedom to express, freedom to connect, freedom to say, this is who I am, and I have a right to speak.
Yes. And here's one more truth I want to leave with our listeners. Your voice matters even when it shakes. Even when the sentence is broken. Even when the accent is strong. You don't have to erase your history to speak in English. You can bring your whole self with you. Every sentence you say is not just about vocabulary, it's an act of showing up. And that, in itself, is courageous.
That just gave me chills. Because we all want to feel seen, and sometimes we think better English will get us there. But really, it's how we see ourselves that changes the way we speak.
And the way we speak, little by little, changes who we believe we can become.
That's the journey. It's slow. It's sometimes frustrating. But it's also beautiful. And it's real. Every time you say, "Let me try to explain," or "Here's what I think," you're building not just your English, but your life.
So keep speaking, keep growing, keep choosing words that pull you forward instead of holding you back.
You've already started becoming the person you want to be, the moment you press play on this episode.
And we'll be right here, cheering for you every step of the way.
Thanks for being with us today. We hope you carry these words with you, not just as language, but as strength.
If this episode helped you, try speaking one new sentence today that reflects your future self. Just one. And notice how it feels.
You are more ready than you think. And your voice, even right now, is already enough.
See you next time, and until then, speak gently, speak bravely, and speak like the person you're becoming.